Have you ever walked out of your building and seen the same street dog waiting near the entrance? Not barking, not begging, not running toward you, just sitting there, watching the door. And maybe, for 1 second, you wondered, is it waiting for food? Is it waiting for someone? Or is it waiting for me? Most people would walk past and think, it's just a stray. But what if that dog is not there by accident? What if it chose your building? What if it knows which door opens first? Which person is safe? Which smell means food? And which human is worth waiting for? Because a street dog does not wait randomly. It reads the building. It reads the people. It reads the routine. And sometimes, when a dog waits outside your building, it may know more about your life than you think. This is Street Dog Mind. Today, we're going to follow the logic that put that dog on your front step. Stay until the end, because the last part changes what that waiting really means. Let's start with the first thing people get wrong. When you see a dog waiting outside a building, the instinct is to assume it ended up there by accident. Maybe it wandered in. Maybe it is confused. Maybe it is waiting for an owner. But for real street dogs, that assumption is usually wrong. Street dogs are not wandering randomly. They operate inside a mental map far more detailed than most people realize. They know corners, alleys, dumpsters, doors, and hours of the day. They know which entrance feels safe and which building is worth checking again. So when a dog sits outside your building in the morning, understand this. It chose that spot. Out of every doorway on that block, every sheltered corner in that neighborhood, that dog made a calculation that said, this one. Why? That's what we're going to answer. Think about your neighborhood the way a dog experiences it. You navigate by street names, signs, landmarks, and directions. A dog navigates by smell, sound, temperature, movement, and the rhythm of human activity repeating day after day. That kind of navigation can create a map more detailed than yours. I grew up in a neighborhood with a few strays everyone seemed to know. One scruffy brown dog knew which back door opened first, which car meant food, and when the school kids would pass, nobody trained him. He learned through observation. That is the key idea. Street dogs learn human routines faster than most humans learn theirs. You probably do not know what time every neighbor leaves for work, but a street dog living near your building may know. Because for that dog, understanding human routine is not curiosity. It is survival. Your building becomes part of its map. Your entrance becomes a data point. And the fact that the dog is sitting there means the data pointed there. Now let's talk about smell. We know dogs have powerful noses, but we often imagine that only means tracking food. For a street dog, smell is much bigger than that. Smell is a social intelligence system. Every person who has walked in and out of your building has left a trail. Those trails layer over one another. To you, the sidewalk smells like sidewalk. To a dog, it is a record. That record says how many people use that entrance, how often, and at what time. It can also tell the dog whether people passing through are calm, tense, rushed, or afraid. An entrance where people pass calmly feels different from one where people rush, shout, chase, or move unpredictably. Some buildings feel safer at the scent level. Yours might be one of them. And if you have ever fed that dog, let it sniff your hand, spoken softly, or simply walked past without threatening it. Your scent is now part of that record. Your specific scent. And that changes everything. This is where it gets surprising. Most people assume street dogs have short memories. They imagine a dog living outside is operating mostly on hunger, instinct, and whatever is happening in the moment. But dogs have powerful associative memory. They may not remember events the way you do, with a full story and a clear timeline, but they remember connections with remarkable precision. This smell equals safety. This voice equals danger. This doorway equals food. This face equals calm. For a street dog, a face is not just a face. A face is a record. Every time that dog has seen you, even if you barely noticed, it was collecting information. Your posture, your pace, your eye contact, your voice. And whether your appearance was followed by something good, neutral, or threatening, over time, those small moments become a profile. And that profile may be why the dog is waiting outside your building now. I want to tell you something that happened to me a few years ago. I was having a bad week. The kind where everything goes sideways, and the stress sits in your chest like a weight. I was walking back to my apartment when I noticed a medium-sized yellow dog on the corner. I had seen this dog many times before. Usually, it glanced up, watched me pass, and went back to whatever it was doing. But that evening was different. As I approached, it stood up. It did not come toward me. It did not bark. It just watched me with a kind of attention I had not seen before. I stopped for a second. We looked at each other. Then I kept walking. I thought about it for days. Because dogs pick up signals we do not know we are sending. Stress changes your scent. Your gait changes. Your breathing changes. Your facial expression shifts in tiny ways. A dog that has watched you many times builds a baseline of you. It knows what your normal looks like. It knows what your hurried looks like. It knows what your calm looks like. And when something changes, the dog notices. That dog on the corner was not reacting to a story I told it. It was reacting to data. Street dogs do this constantly. Some move closer when a person is distressed. Some stay back because distress can make humans unpredictable. But either way, the calculation is happening. You are being read in real time by an animal quietly building a model of you. Now, here is another reason a dog may wait for you specifically. Street dogs do not treat all humans as the same. They sort people into categories. At the top are trusted people. People who feed calmly, speak softly, let the dog approach without pressure, and act consistently. A dog may move toward them, make soft eye contact, follow for a short distance, or wait near a familiar door. Below that are recognized neutral people. The dog sees them often but does not need anything from them. They are low risk and low reward. The dog may glance up and go back to resting. Then there are strangers. New faces. New smells. Unknown movement patterns. Strangers get more distance and more caution. And then there are people marked as threats. Someone who shouted. Someone who kicked. Someone who threw something. Those associations can last a long time. Where you are in that hierarchy is the result of every interaction you have ever had with that dog, including the ones you forgot. The morning you slowed down instead of stepping too close. The time you gave food. The time you ignored it safely. The time you were predictable. That dog outside your building has placed you somewhere in its human map. And if it is waiting for you specifically, you may be higher on that map than you think. But the dog may not be waiting only for you. It may be waiting for the building itself. Not every entrance becomes part of a street dog's route. Some doors matter. Others do not. Covered entrances protect from rain. Recessed doorways block wind. A wall can create shade. A corner can give a dog a place to rest without being exposed. Buildings also have rhythms. Doors open and close at certain hours. Voices appear and disappear. Garbage bags are moved. Cars start. Footsteps repeat. A predictable building is easier for a dog to understand. An unpredictable building is harder to trust. And there are human reasons. Maybe residents leave water. Maybe one person feeds. Maybe nobody feeds, but nobody chases either. Maybe the dog has learned that people who come through that entrance are mostly calm. Your building's relationship with street dogs is collective. It is built through dozens of small interactions between animals and humans who pass through the same door every day. Now, here is the part many people overlook. A dog sitting near a door is not just waiting. It is reading. A door is one of the most information-rich places in a human building. Everything inside eventually comes out through a door. People, food smells, garbage, other dog scent, warm air, voices, routine. A dog near the entrance is processing information about who has been there, what might happen next, and whether staying is worth the energy. Street dogs move a lot, but movement costs energy. If a dog stops somewhere and waits, it is usually because that location has value. Maybe the value is food. Maybe it is safety. Maybe it is warmth. Maybe it is a person. Maybe it is all of those at once. Food predictability is one of the most common reasons. Street dogs wait at specific buildings at specific times because something happened there before. Once, maybe twice. That can be enough. Someone dropped food in the morning. A bag tore. A restaurant worker left scraps near the back door. A neighbor took recycling out, and there was something accessible inside. The dog noticed, filed it, and returned. Not because it reads clocks, But because light, traffic, footsteps, and morning sounds bring it back into the same window, from the outside, that looks like hope. From the inside, it is probability. The dog is asking, does this place still work? The second reason is more emotional. The dog may be waiting for a person. Feeding is the obvious version. But food is not the only thing that makes a human valuable. Some humans are valuable because they are predictable. A person who exits the same door at the same time every day becomes almost like a clock. Some humans provide passive security. A calm person leaving the building may signal that the environment is normal. No unusual agitation, no strange vehicles, no sudden danger, just routine. To a street dog, your routine can become a status report, and some humans become valuable because of a relationship that never gets named. I once knew a man who sat on his apartment steps every morning with coffee. He never fed the dog. He just sat there, quietly, at the same time every day. After a few weeks, a dog started showing up about 15 feet away. I think the dog was using him as an anchor point, a stable presence in a world that changes too often. That is what street dogs look for more often than we realize. Not only food, stability, predictability, a place where the world makes sense for a few minutes. Now there is a practical side to the waiting spot too. A dog chooses position carefully. It wants visibility. A dog near a door often sits with its back closer to the building and its face toward the open space, so nothing can surprise it from behind. It wants escape routes. It wants cover from rain, wind, heat, and sun. And on cold mornings, there is one hidden factor most people never think about. Buildings exhale. Warm air leaks through doors, vents, cracks, and gaps. A dog near an entrance may be sitting in a narrow band of warmer air that you barely notice. But the dog notices. When you live outside, even a small temperature difference matters. So, that dog outside your building may be getting something from the spot even when no one comes out. Warmth. Information. Safety. A better view. A chance. Sometimes all at once. Now let me ask the question that matters emotionally. Is it only calculation? Is there something more happening when a street dog waits? We should not turn every animal behavior into a human story. But we also should not flatten everything into hunger and instinct. Dogs can form attachments to specific humans. They respond differently to people they know. Their bodies can anticipate familiar individuals. Their stress can lower around safe people. Street dogs can form those attachments too. The absence of ownership does not mean the absence of connection. It only means the connection may be unrecognized by the human side. So, yes, a dog may wait because of food. Yes, because of shelter. Yes, because of routine. But it may also wait because a specific person comes through that door every day, and that person's presence has become something the dog expects. Something its body recognizes. Something that feels safer than the rest of the street. I do not think we need to call it love. But I do not think we need to call it nothing. Okay, you've seen the dog. You understand more about why it might be there. What should you do? First, do not rush toward it. Even if the dog seems friendly, a fast approach can activate fear. Move slowly. Let the dog see your body clearly. Second, let it choose the distance. Do not force contact. Do not reach immediately. Avoid a hard stare. Look softly, slightly to the side. Third, be consistent. If you feed a street dog once, you create an expectation. If you greet it warmly one day and ignore it coldly the next, that inconsistency can confuse the dog. Whatever level of engagement you are comfortable with, keep it steady. Fourth, if you are worried about the dog's health or safety, contact local animal welfare groups. A dog that waits outside a building is visible and identifiable. That means it may be possible to help it responsibly. And fifth, let the dog's choice mean something. Not because you have to take responsibility you are not ready for, but because something chose that doorway, maybe even chose you, with the information it had, and that is not nothing. At some point during the day, that dog will get up and move on. It has other places to check, other corners, other doors, other parts of a circuit that may make no sense to you, but makes perfect sense to the dog. And then, maybe tomorrow, it will come back. Not because it has nowhere else to go, because it has reasons. Reasons made of smell, memory, shelter, timing, safety, hunger, routine, and maybe something close to attachment. The street is not empty of relationships. It is full of them. They happen in a sensory world you cannot fully access, over time frames that started before you paid attention, between animals whose inner lives are richer than most of us were taught to imagine. The dog waiting outside your building is not just a problem. It is not just a nuisance. It is a living intelligence that has placed your building, and maybe you, inside its model of the world. That seems like something worth knowing. If you've made it this far, thank you. Genuinely. I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever had a street dog that seemed to know you? One that waited outside your building, followed your routine, or gave you a look that stayed with you? Tell me the story. I read every comment, and those stories help shape what we explore next. If this video changed how you think about the street dogs around you, share it with one person. Just one. That is how these ideas start moving. And subscribe if you haven't yet, because we cover the hidden lives of animals sharing our spaces. The intelligence and emotion happening just outside the edge of our attention. You do not have to go anywhere to find extraordinary animal behavior. It is already there. We're just going to help you see it. I'll see you in the next one.